Over 10 million people are now facing foreclosure. Hey everybody, Scott Walters. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, I want to thank you for coming. If you're returning, I want to thank you for your continued support. Before we get into today's red hot topic, I'm going to politely ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Please watch to the end for my final thought. Hit the bell icon so you're notified when new videos are released. It's very important to stay close to the channel in these very tricky times. All right, folks, welcome to the channel. It's always an honor and a privilege to be with you. I hope you're all doing great. Buckle up and strap in. I got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows and sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. Friends, over 10 million people are now facing foreclosure. We're going to have a hard conversation today, but I believe a very useful conversation because I think we can help a lot of people avoid foreclosure. First of all, the reasons that we're facing potentially over 10 million people, if not more, that are going to be facing foreclosure very soon. And I'm going to talk about a little bit today of when I believe that, in fact, is going to actually manifest. Listen, we paused. The first time ever in history, we told banks you can't foreclose on people. That's never been done before. Foreclosure bans are what they called. So many stimulation measures were implemented in this crisis, but the number one offender was overstimulating the U.S. housing market, making agents essential workers and sending them out there to sell and lowering interest rates and just creating all that FOMO. That was insane. Well, people were locked down, afraid to open their doors, stifling the inventory. And that put a lot of artificial upward pressure onto the real estate market. And we overheated the one thing we cannot lose. If we lose the U.S. housing market, we lose everything. And they kicked the can too far down the road. It should have been suspended immediately. We'll get out of the problem in the solution, but I always like to say, you got to acknowledge the elephant in the room. The first step of getting past the problem is admit there's a problem. I don't know about you guys. I feel like that was a pretty big problem. So foreclosures, here's how that's going to look potentially. So we already have, like I said, that banks can now just proceed, and they're doing it. People that are behind on payments issuing notices of default are showing up to people's doorsteps right now. Then you add in the 10 million people. This is such the rug pull. During the height of the buying euphoria, 2-year span, over 10 million people came in and bought houses in the bubble. But they didn't stop there. They went above and beyond appraised values to never seen before, all-time highs. So they're instantly upside down, probably as we speak, because what are we seeing? We hit the bubble, then interest rates get risen, the rug pull, and then now it's doing price reduction, days on market, floods of inventory, cooling it off. And we're just at the front end. I always say we're at the tail end of a pandemic and the front end of a recession. Buckle up and strap in. I don't care who you're talking to, who you're listening to, if you trust the government or not. We're in a recession, and it will be, my guess, officially announced because it's just everything there. The only thing that's currently not there is the job numbers, which will follow. It will follow. I mean, that was paused too, basically, when you pay people to stay at home and then give free PPP money to every business in town, allowing them to keep workers around. That's over. No more free money. The free money's gone. So as we see, what we're going to see, these 10 million people that bought in the height of a real estate bubble, their houses are no longer worth what they paid for them. They no longer own the house. The house owns them. Eventually, as jobs start to go away, then what happens? Well, of course, you do everything you can to hold on to the house. Why? Because you put so much pressure to buy the house. The last thing you want to do is give it back. Not to mention that you've been in the meantime racking up credit card debt, going down to the big box store and financing, remodel work and furnishing the home. That's insane to me. Absolute insanity. And if you're one of those 10 million people, and if you're new, please subscribe right away. There's never been a more important time to get ahead of the curve, forward thinking, critical thinking. Our rewards in life are in direct proportion to our contribution. You can contribute. This is going to be valuable information if you know somebody that bought during this crisis. It went above and beyond appraised values. And then they're going to start running on fumes. They already are, because inflation's a runaway train. Like I always say, this is a two-headed monster. You have runaway inflation in a risen interest rate environment. The government created a two-headed monster. They don't know how to put it back in the cage. They're going to use their blunt instrument, which is the cost to borrow money. They're raising interest rates, and they've just gotten started, and it's completely thrown ice water on what was a red-hot, overvalued housing market. So what we see next, friends, is people can no longer afford these homes, and they can no longer sell the homes for what they paid for them. And they can't put a renter in there and let the renter make the payment because their mortgage payments are bigger than the property's rent range because their agent never told them what the property might rent for in case they want to make the property into a rental someday, which is what they should have done in the first place to climb the property ladder in real estate, live in the house for a few years, put a renter in there, and then buy another house and do the same thing a few times. You can be a millionaire within a very short period of time. But people aren't thinking like that. They're just drinking the Kool-Aid. So this is what happens, friends. And like I said, this is my time frame. I believe in about a year from now, summer of 2023, we are talking about the foreclosure crisis. It'll take a little while for this one to play out. So be patient. I know a lot of us want to, I always do this. We want to do this if it's not in real time and trade buys. That's not real estate. Those iBuyer programs that we saw try to create real estate with that, gone, done. Stock values in the tank. Insane, right? This is a very artificial economy, a very artificial investment market. Booms and busts in the investment markets traditionally over time. We just went through a massive boom, an artificially created boom. So what would be next? You would think, quite possibly, you have to entertain the idea that maybe a bust. I don't know. It's possible. If I was a betting man, that's where my bet money's going. So what we're going to see, friends, if you know somebody that's gets upside down in their purchase, and then, Lord forbid, that, one of them, it's a dual income household and one of them loses their job and they're running on fumes and they call their agent like, we don't know what to do. We can no longer sell the home for what we owe. What should we do? The number one thing you need to do is get that agent back to the house, as much as you're probably not going to want to, or find a new agent. Email in the description below if and when you're ready for that. You need to put the house on the market anyway. Get it on the market now if you think this is something that's potentially coming. Don't wait till the last minute. Because here's the thing. This is the banks. The banks are not in the business of liquidating foreclosures. That's when they have to retain agents like me to come alongside them. Right now, the foreclosure numbers are so small they can handle them in-house. Once they get big, they can't. There's companies right now assembling themselves to handle foreclosures for the banks. Mark my words, it happened in the last boom. It's going to happen in this one. I actually know a guy personally, that's what he does. He sells foreclosures for the banks because the banks get overwhelmed by these things. Watch 99 Homes. Search it up, 99 Homes. Great movie that it's kind of gives you a look into that dirty little world. Insane. What you need to do is get to the market right away and get offers for the house and go to the bank. We've got an offer for the house based on market analysis. This is what it's worth. Would you like to accept this offer and let my client out of this house as a short sale and avoid a foreclosure? They're going to play games. They're trained. They have scripts and try to how to squeeze you out of a few more bucks and scare you into being putty in their hands. They know this is an emotional time for you. They're going to play all of that. Like I've always said, this comes on the psychology of sales, the psychology of people. And as a trained salesman, let me just tell you, it's sad to see the way they train salespeople to just play on people's emotions. But the number one thing you can do, friends, to avoid foreclosure, if you go upside down in your purchase and you gotta get light, you need to get out from a depreciated asset. You're just dragging it along until ultimately you're going to get foreclosed on. Because here's the thing, you can dig your heels in once we get into the full throes of a foreclosure crisis, but it's no fun living in a house where the bank's pursuing you, trying to get you out, and you're just digging your heels in, seeing how long you can last before you have like a sheriff come physically evict you out and push all your stuff to the front. Nobody wants that. There's no way to live. What you do is you get it to market, you get an offer, and you go to the bank. Here's the deal. I can leave the keys under the mat for this thing, and you can foreclose on it and good luck, or you can take this offer right now before prices continue to go down further. They will take that offer. Don't pay closing costs. Don't pay anything. Say, this is it. This is what you get. This is what the house is worth. Accept it. Don't accept it. I don't care. You have to emotionally detach from the house. Like I said, I hate seeing the house own people. It's your job to own the property. The property owns you the second you become that emotionally attached to the property. That's why I like that movie 99 Homes, where the guy who's in charge is kind of like me in a way. out there selling these homes. He's like, homes are just boxes. That is all I see when I see a house. I see a box. And that's kind of where I've gotten myself. Now, that guy, I'll let you guys watch the movie and make your own judgment on what you think of the lead role of 99 Homes. But based on, one of the things I share with him is when I see a house now, sure, I want to be comfortable. Can I appreciate a nice house? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I don't want that house to own me. I need to own it. It is a box where I hang out. And like I said, I'd be willing to sacrifice now to benefit later. Be willing to live in a shoebox temporarily to own a few rental properties every single time. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understanding the biggest housing bubble ever recorded in world history might have blowback. You will never time the bottom of a real estate crash, but you can time the top of a real estate bubble. It's when you see skyrocketing appreciation at all-time levels never seen before start to go the other direction. We've identified that. Like I said, I don't think it's as important to time the bottom of a crash. You're never going to do that. It'll be more luck than skill, and a little luck is always welcomed in these markets. What you have to understand, friends, anytime you go upside down in your purchase and you don't have the ability to rent that house out, and you're going through some financial challenges, you're going to have no other choice but to get it to market, get offers, let the agent take these offers to the bank and get you out of this with a short sale to avoid foreclosure. Nobody asks you on an application, have you ever had a short sale? They ask you, have you ever had a foreclosure or an eviction? It's much less damaging than either one of those, and I don't want to see anybody get hurt out there. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Social media links are in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you're interested in buying or selling real estate here in America, there's an email in the description for you as well. I have a network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. If you're watching from your television set today, another video should be coming into your screen at this time, along with an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count. I'll see you on the next video.